Welcome to Fearless Friday, your day to reclaim your weekend and your life. This week we're going to talk about change and how to best handle change. Now there's a saying from Socrates, and I quote, "The secret of change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new." I'm going to read that to you again. The secret of change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new. Think about how many times you go through changes in your life. You go through transitions. You go from good to great. You go from one state to another state, both literally and metaphorically. And these changes, these transitions are basically made up of all change. I mean, everything in it, something is changing in your life. If you're going from being in a marriage to a divorce, pretty much every aspect of your relationship with that person is going to change. Many aspects of your life with that are going to change. If you switch from one job to another job, typically that involves a massive amount of change. If you move from one state to another state, that involves change. Change in seasons, change in scenery, change in who you hang out with, change in habits, change in schedule, routine. All of these things are constant. The reason being is because change is the only constant. And so many times when we go through change, when we go through these transitions, we are so focused on maintaining the status quo in our life. We're so focused on maintaining some semblance of order that what we're actually doing is fighting that change and trying to hold on to what we know, what's familiar to us, so that we can maintain some type of sanity or some type of flow in our life. But what happens when we are resisting that change, when we're so focused on trying to maintain the status quo, many times, we're missing opportunities that are presenting itself or themselves so that we can start fresh in certain aspects of our life. Now, I'm coming to you from my office today, and the office is where I spend most of my day, usually between 8 and 5, Monday through Friday. And occasionally on the weekends or in the evening if I have an evening class or a weekend class. So this is something that, of course, when I moved from one state to another state, I set up my office and it was like, oh yeah, and I've got my lists of things to do here and list of things to do there, and my calendar's all set up and everything. And trying to bring about the routine that I would normally do when I was in another state, in another home, has proven to fail. And so one of the things that I've had to do is to create a new routine and a new format for my day. But this has actually proven to be quite exhilarating, because when I looked at what I used to do during my day and then look at what I'm doing now, I'm a lot more efficient. I'm getting a lot more done in a lot less time. And also, I've also started to ask for help when I need it. Instead of trying to do something myself that's not my expertise, I reach out to someone who I know is an expert at it and say, hey, could you help me out? Or hey, how much, can I hire you for this and hire you for that? And it's one of those things that I'm starting to embrace the change and embrace the change within the change. Because as you embrace that change, as you look at things in your life that used to be, and you focus so much on what used to be, and you long for that routine, you long for that comfort that comes from having a routine, what you're doing is you're totally missing the opportunity to come up with a new routine and a new comfort level, a new way of being that's, in my opinion, so much better. Because what has served us in the past, what we found useful in the past was good in the past, but you've changed. You change every day. You change every moment. You change every time that you speak with someone, every time that you experience something. So why would you want to do something that was good for you 10 years ago, or 7 years ago, or 5 years ago, or 2 years ago, or even a year ago? You're a completely different person now. And when you allow yourself to embrace that change and the change that comes within the change, I know that sounds, redundant, but when you allow yourself to experience these changes in your life, and the changes in your energy, and the changes of your way of thinking about people and yourself, and you embrace those changes and you embrace all that is, then you can allow yourself to see out and seek out opportunities that weren't there before. And you go, oh my gosh, wow, this is such a better way of doing this. And that's why one of the things that I mention in almost every single one of my courses is question everything. Is what I'm doing beneficial to myself? Is what I'm doing resistant of the situation? Is what I'm doing reminiscent of what it was in the past, but I'm struggling now because I want it to be this way instead of the new way? So this week's challenge is to look at what you're struggling the most with in your life. Look at what you're really, really struggling with. Is it ego? Is it finding a job? Is it being in a healthy relationship? Is it your diet? Is it your finances? Really look at what you're really, truly struggling with the most, and allow yourself to look at where you were and where you are now. And ask yourself, why am I trying to stay where I was if where I'm going could be even better? We don't know, but we can create that even better energy. We can create that positive focus and that positive spin on anything that we choose. It's just a matter of perception. It's just a matter of how we choose to see it. And it's just a matter of choosing to embrace the change and say, you know what? I'm going to focus on rebuilding the new. And I'll say that quote again. The secret of change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new. That is Socrates. Well, I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends on Facebook, Twitter, or email. Until next week, I'm wishing you a fearlessly inspired day.